Hi, welcome back to another episode of my channel, People Tree Insights. My name is Manjula Putture. Today, let's explore how to be calm and control our emotions. There are powerful steps you can practice to control your emotions and remain calm in most situations. The first and the most important thing you must do is to recognize and acknowledge what triggers you. When your child doesn't clean up his or her room, it can ruin your mood. A disagreement with your mom or significant other can ruin your entire day. If your plans don't go as you planned, you might have an existential crisis. Many of my Indian friends can relate to this. When the help doesn't show up, most of them get really anxious. I mean, it can trip your entire day off. You get angry when someone changes lanes in front of you suddenly. What is happening here? Other people's actions are driving your emotions. Their actions are dictating how you should respond. The driver is honking in another car and you are getting upset in your car. The driver in the other car is successfully controlling your emotions from his car. You have handed over the reins of your peace to somebody else. When we encounter unexpected changes or disruption, we get really annoyed because they threaten our sense of order and stability, which leads to disappointment, frustration, and even anger. I'm not asking you to ignore your emotions. Reaction is fundamental to human nature. All I'm suggesting is to step back and evaluate the situation and see if the situation is really as bad as you think it is, or are you magnifying it based on your perception or some other stress in your life? For example, are you bringing home work stress and taking it out on loved one? Maybe somebody in the office is not pulling their weight and you are frustrated and you take it out on your kid who did not tidy up the room as you ask him to. Or are you taking your domestic issues to your office and getting frustrated at the workplace? Think of your mind as a power battery. Each time your expectations are not met, you get upset and the power depletes. If you continue this day in and day out, you will be a nervous wreck. There are powerful steps you can take to control your emotion. Understanding that perfection is a perception and is very much subjective. Frustration often arises because your expectations don't align with those of others. Your idea of tidy room is different from your child's tidy room. Maybe according to your child, he cleaned up his room. Your kid must have cleaned their room, just not to your expectation. When their efforts fall short of your expectations, you will get upset. That's why it is important to set up clear expectations and make sure that everybody understands what you're expecting them to do and make sure that everybody is on the same page. Managing expectations is very important. Learn to manage conflicting expectations. This is important if you don't want to lose your mind every time somebody does not meet your expectation. Be less controlling. As a young and a new mom, I was a panic queen. Every time something happened, I would go into a panic mode. Whereas my husband was very stable and he was very calm. Guess what? That used to frustrate me. For example, when our daughter started walking, I used to get scared and I used to be running behind her so that she won't fall. My husband would chill. He would not come running to pick her up, and I would really get frustrated because he wasn't reacting the way I want him to react. But just because he doesn't react the way I want him to react, it does not mean that he loves her any less or he is not concerned about her. His approach to raising our daughter was very different from the approach I had. Our opinions were different. Our reactions were completely opposite. What is significant to you might not matter to the other person. Their approach to any situation depends upon their nature, personality, and their experiences. Their priorities might not be same as yours. You cannot impose your expectation on others and how they should react to any situation. While you can offer advice or suggestions, it is important for you not to try and manipulate their responses to any situation. Third thing is keep things in perspective. If someone disappoints you, keep things in perspective. Be empathetic. Maybe they forgot to do it or didn't do it according to your instructions. Don't interpret this as being disrespectful or don't assume that your instructions didn't matter to them. Don't take things too personally. Avoid taking things to heart. During crisis, tap into your mind for positive energy. Like I said earlier, reaction is a very natural emotion of any human being. But every action does not need your response. Evaluate and see if that particular situation is worthy of your response, worthy of your attention. Wisdom is knowing when to act and when to refrain. Create a pause between action and reaction. By this, I'm not telling you to ignore your problem. I'm only asking you to take a pause to reflect on the problem before acting on it. You don't have to react to every disappointment you face. For example, when someone cuts you off on road, on highway, or you're having an issue at work, pause and think about the bigger picture. Now, this pause helps you to evaluate the situation accurately and also allows you to think of your response. This is called being mindful. Now, the action you take is planned. Now, you are in control of your response. Presence of mind is needed when you are in crisis. If your fuse blows off every time there is a problem, then you can't even rely on yourself in times of crisis. Forget other people depending on you. Pause allows you to become calm and mindful. When life refuses to go our way, adapt and sway with the circumstances. Be the tree that does not break in high winds because it sways along. If you allow yourself to react impulsively to every situation, you'll be overwhelmed. If you are in control of your mind, you will be in control of the situation. Here, I'm not saying the outcome of the situation, but the response to your situation. The fifth step you must have heard countless times. I also said this many times in my many podcasts, but I have to repeat it here. By learning to meditate, you can control your emotions. It helps you to become calm by allowing you to pause before every action. Deep breathing exercises are vital. They provide immense control over emotions, and with practice, they will help you remain calm in any situation, will prevent anxiety and any panic attacks. By practicing these strategies, you will become more resilient, emotionally stable, calm, and have control over your emotions. And you will be able to face any circumstances with grace and calmness. If you know anyone who is struggling with stress or frustration, kindly share this video with them and kindly subscribe. Be kind. Kindness will follow you. Kindness boomerangs. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.